Live or not? I am live. I'm live. We are back. But I can't see the board. Oh, now I do. Now I do. Alright, we see the board. Alright, we're gonna play 10 minutes. We are back to explaining the moves as we go along. Explaining the moves as we go along. 1 month ago, I don't know if I could trust him. I am not sure if I could trust this guy. I'm actually working on the ratings, all across. Leeches would have to wait for a little bit. I'm working on the rating for chess.com first. We are actually trying to get to 3,000. 3,000, that's true. Not even 2,800. We're aiming high. We're aiming high as much as possible. All right, g6. Bishop g7. We're playing the modern. I'm assuming this guy is 10 years. He's okay. He could play knight f3. Knight c3. Pick your move. There's also e4. Alright, let's play this. Knight c6, d5. And you could play here if you want. We could go back and claim that we are fine. So this move is interesting. It does avoid e5 for now, but I don't know if I like it. h6, maybe he go here though. Okay, so we can still play here. Bishop g3. We could play here and some kind of e5. Actually, here the pawn is dropping, right? Maybe I forgot about this pawn as being. So yeah, you could do it this way. This is the only way you could play for activity. So I think I could take. I should be up a pawn. Not this way, it's probably here. Because here he's a stick with the bishop. And then if you take here, you're getting smoked by bishop takes c6, right? So it's here, and he doesn't have time for this one because we take with a check. That's a big difference, right? Then we take this pawn, and this double pawns are pretty good for me because it does stop like d5 from coming in. It's a pawn, but better than nothing, right? So he's attacking c6, check. You can see this is defendable. If you play here, he's just check you first. I mean, this one is actually not entirely bad, but he's just defend the pawn. So maybe bishop c6. And then some kind of here, knight f6. We're up a pawn here, but it's my king is a little bit weakened. Nothing unusual about this one. Yeah, he's in continue attacking the pawn. So should we play here? There's also c5, attack the queen. You could also go for that, which is clever though. Double pawns, both sides. You could take c5, queen e3, then you move, then he takes on a7. This is not recommended. Give up this, not give up, but exchanging that way is not always recommended. But there are exceptions. You could always go for it if you have the opportunity. Supposedly here, we are attacking b2. It's funny that castling is... It's possible, you could castle like this. Here I could takes. I mean, if he gets to play here, that's pretty good. So to distract him from taking on c6. All right, we're gonna give it a try. He cannot play b3, b4. This is under attack. Here we could still take. So takes, and I'm still up a pawn, and this is actually very strong diagonal. Very strong diagonal. It's funny that castling may be a possibility. I mean, it looks... Yeah, look at this. He's castling on the street. He doesn't give a damn, right? Yeah, it's possible the only move that makes sense. Very possible he could play like that. Now he's threatening to take. That's, that's interesting. Here, queen takes. Interesting position though. It's all a dream though. The problem is I'm not really fully developed. I'm underdeveloped. That's actually the issue. C5. All right, let's take. I mean, that's. I mean, this is the only way I could develop. I mean, it's one of those positions. It's hard to say like who's better. I mean, I would say maybe Black's still maintaining some stuff, even though I giving the pawn back. This castling is interesting, nevertheless. Assuming it's here, I don't think he should delay it. Um, the real question is what Black does. I mean, if he takes on c6, what's my preparation? Is it castle? So if he takes here, knight takes, maybe I could claim that the double pawns are problematic for white. Then the knight, because you know, you could claim that c5 is a big square for the piece. You could land a piece on c5. Maneuvering, you know, if let's say if the pawn on d4, you don't have this c5 square, right? But since he has double pawns, and that idea why I took on c3 is to have, you know, the double pawns could be a problem later. It doesn't have to be now. So he's probably considering other moves. I don't think this move is anything, you know, he just have to take here. So he took, you don't want to take him, this is like helping him out a little bit. So maybe it's like here, because eventually we have to castle. The problem is maybe like c5. May give it a try though. Shouldn't be wasting time here, I think. So maybe he just takes. And now this is actually where things are really interesting. Do you take with the knight or the queen? He plays c5. He's not happy about the double pawns. So I could play here, knight takes. Try this. So now he has to like take. I mean, I'm entering this endgame assuming that, you know, my knight is better than. We'll see who's right. I mean, knight c5, knight e4, c3 is weak. Maybe he still have some play though. Sure. And if you push, he's taking. So I have to play like here. So I don't have to worry about my king being on g8, right? The problem here now, it's like black maybe is trying to say, well, what I'm trying to say, not black, but is c3 is weak. The knight might be better than the bishop, but I have to prove it. And it's easy to talk, but easy to claim, but it's not easy to find the moves. So he plays king c2. It's probably the reason is to defend on c3. There's also like some wacky sacks here, so maybe I have to try this first. And if he plays here, knight c5. So he doesn't land on rook b7. So the idea is all about... hey, welcome in. What if he went... Yeah, that's a fine move. I mean, maybe I could play wacky move like f6. And then the king gets in. It's very strange looking move f6. But, you know, so I could, you know, stop him from taking e7. And then the bishop on h4 may just look like a little bit silly. I mean, you don't have this kind of stuff. I could always go here, knight f8. So it's... So he plays here, which he wants to play here. So I have maybe... Yeah, I have to be careful. Bishop takes d6 is a move. Right, this is hanging. May have to stick to like knight c5. So knight c5 is stopping this one, but in reality, it's like maybe I should honest rook takes maybe a threat later on. Yeah, rook takes d6 was a like for example around here. This may have been like a move, right? Because you take 2 pawns for it. And then you eventually take, but it's kind of risky in this kind of position. Maybe it's like f3. I don't understand though. It doesn't make too much sense because I'm not landing on 94. But I think it's bishop f2. Maybe that's the point of f3. This maybe makes a lot of sense in some ways. So if I play here now, defending d6, bishop f2, 94. We're putting enough pressure on c3. I mean, definitely this is a move. Maybe I missed 94 and he could take. Knight takes. That's going to be interesting. The commit was for bishop exchange. Oh, you mean bishop instead of rook? Yeah, you mean here, bishop takes d6? I don't want to play here because this actually is pretty strong. Bishop takes knight. Probably here. There's also bishop d4, but I could always play e5. But I cannot really take. e5, f4, f6, and then here. I mean, maybe my worry is rook b4 at some point. Maybe f3 is a good find, actually, because the bishop is lousy on this diagonal, so it makes sense to play it on f2. This move is actually playable. You could also go for like bishop takes e7. Or you could go this way. This is actually dangerous though. Rook take, knight takes. Because I have knight e4, knight b5, knight takes e2. Knight e6. All right, so this is a move. Let's see. Oh, this is under attack. Yeah, that's actually getting really heating up now. And I cannot do this. I was preparing rook c2. Yes, here it's... Alright. Yeah, this is actually dangerous. I mean, I'm allowing this somehow. Like, a pawn is a passer. I'm not sure if I'm enjoying what I'm doing. It's not easy. I mean, like 20 moves back in the opening where you still had your queens on. Oh, you're all the way back. Yeah. Around here. Alright, this is actually getting wicked dangerous, I think. Not sure what I'm liking what I'm doing. This king is not safe though. Maybe we could play here, but... The reason I don't like this, for me, maybe I'm still ahead, but it's just like I'm giving him a pass pawn. And the bishop now, it's like he could go back and somehow defend bishop d4 maybe, but and this I have to worry about this pawn start moving. Yeah, he went here. Alright, we'll play here. This a pawn could be a problem, bishop b2. I can't even do this. It's rook here. Maybe knight d3, knight c5. So you cannot really get carried away here. I can still do this for now. Complications. complications. He just plays here, I think. Just rook d1. Yes. And then we have to worry about this. As threat for now, I mean, knight c5. Maybe his king is in trouble somehow. Maybe. Just a maybe. Yeah, 2 minutes to play this position. I'm not sure. It could get really difficult. This may be a concern about the king. Yeah, this may be the best move. Best move. Okay, check. And also, what? Like to take that pawn, given the chance. So if he plays e3, I mean, there must be some serious discovery here. I mean, the problem with rook b5, this rook specifically, rook d1 it's okay, but rook b5 doesn't feel like it's where the rook belongs. Like, it doesn't belong. It doesn't belong here. As opposed to my rooks are pretty actively here. Good squares, but rook b5 feels like it's kind of iffy, not doing much. And he's gonna take time here. That's difficult. I mean, he's probably worrying, concerned about this. And then he has rook e4. That could be a problem. So now, yes. So if I check, he goes here. What I have available here, because king b3 is coming in. There's no serious discovery here. That makes sense. Maybe I go here and then threatening this. Rook takes 94. I mean, he cannot take here. It is 94. Here, and then he just plays here. But there's no achievements. G4. It's actually a turn. It's gonna be bullet game now, so it's hard to say. Again, he cannot take on d6. There's also knight b7. It would be a check, and then he take. Okay, he took. Wow, I don't see a discovery with the knight that really wins from you anything. Not quite. It should be one. That's great. Let's go after the king somehow. He just plays here, maybe. Yeah, that's gonna be difficult, I guess, with the time and everything. It takes. Rook g4. I'm not sure what I'm doing. Of course, defending here. Oh wait, I meant to check. Oh, we won, but not a nice way to win though. It's not a nice way to win. All right, Bishop G5. That's what I play. Takes. We give up the bishop here early on, but for positional means. F5. He's not doing F5. Not even Queen B6. A bit strange. He's threatening here, so I have to play C3, not F4. Surprisingly, he's not doing Queen B6. So, typically this is the gain of like tempo, but so we could play here. I don't have to like take. Typically in this line, some people give up the bishop here, so it becomes like very dynamic stuff after all. So I could even do H4 and this plays here then. Where I'm gonna castle? That's a good question to ask. King takes. Maybe this is a move. Go for D6. F4. Good move. This is actually a good move. Supposedly knight E4, Queen G6. Attack the knight. Defend here. F5 is coming in. Knight C4. Queen G6. And then this is slightly different version than knight E4. We may have to play this. So we are looking at this. So if he plays here, we may have to consider taking this. There's also pawn takes, yeah. Pawn takes is playable. So I don't feel like knight takes, because this actually feels like what the point of knight c4, right? If I were to play here. So knight takes c3, f5. And this super duper, that's gonna be a strong move. Even if I went back to knight c4, he just plays queen g6, and black is really strong here. So maybe pawn takes. It's not a move that I like. b5, knight takes. We're gonna give it a try. It's not I'm not a fan of this pawn grab, but you may have to like consider castling along. There's also. So this check is okay. I mean, you're not winning this. This is defended. So I have to play like g3. Oh, this queen e4. Queen e4. Rook g1. All right, let's dance. Maybe this bishop d3. He's trying to play b5, I think. Bishop g4. I'm not sure if I like this move. I don't know why he played this move. I think the real worry here for white, is some kind of like b5. You take here, this queen takes c3, and the problem is this rook might be hanging. That's actually the concern. Maybe bishop d3, but then queen takes d5. That's actually the biggest concern for me. But when he plays here, as much as like this move looks like you're gaining a tempo, like you know, I mean, even here you could try this, or you know, you could. But I think the issue here, maybe white has nothing to worry about, like especially after like queen d3 or something like this kind of move. And then d6 he has to defend, and then maybe like e4. Now, again, this structure with white could become really positional fast, not really tactical game, is more like positional. So this may actually force a trade of queens, which actually goes in favor for white. So d6 is a concern now. He plays rook d8. So he lost the tempo, somehow, but and he may be playing b5. Now I have a move. Maybe it's e4 and knight e3. And then there's a concern that f7 is becoming a target. So maybe even here, knight e3. So I'm shifting ideas. Because the knight on c4 is no longer really like doing anything, particularly after like b5. He may even do b5, knight e3, and bishop d7, something along this line. But here, I don't think white is in trouble. I mean, maybe I was in trouble like 2 moves before, but here, this is actually very interesting. This may be knight e5. I'm not sure knight e6 is a good move. Knight e5 here, you might take this b2. We'd love to play bishop e2 and trade, and then you do have a serious control over f5, but I don't think he's gonna do this. Bishop here, he does bishop even h3 or something, or c8. You don't want to play here, knight takes d6, but this move comes into consideration. Maybe if it's here. I'm gonna give it a try. I don't think he's gonna take, because takes is actually good for white, positionally. Ooh, he took. So that's a square that we could take control over. So that gives white something to play for, right? He cannot get really relaxed here, so maybe he's like doubling up the rooks. If I could get to play rook f6, right? Like visualize like getting rook f6, the other rook here, and some kind of like knight f5. That's actually winning, right? d6 will be falling. b4 is an attempt, so he wants you to like take rook b8. You want to shut the door here maybe as much as possible. You don't want him to take and rook b8, because there may be some counterplay here. Maybe it's c4. You shut that door, so all the action is gonna be on the king side, like around here, where the arrows are. Where the arrows are pointing. All right, so he plays here. So I'm not worried about like a5, a4. This feels like I could shut everything down. The real thing is how I could win, like maybe. So start with here first, doubling up somehow, and there must be some wacky knight e8, but it depends on how I proceed. Like let's say rook f2, rook f1. Yeah, knight e8. So knight f6. This may be not good. So we play here. Knight f6, maybe knight f5. So I'm actually trying. It's simple plan, right? Rook f1. But I think the point of knight e8 is actually stopping like rook f6, which is actually huge for him. So we play here. So if I were to play here knight f5, that technically this is winnable. But knight stops here. King g6. Where do you think you're going? Where do you think you're going here? This move is very strange looking. I'm not sure where he's heading. Alright, let's play here. This may be troubling. So he doesn't have time for this. There's always knight h4, and then I win a piece. That's one of the drawbacks, right? The real question is how could I make improvement? Let's say he sits back and play like something like this, f6. It's the bargain is on white to find something to win. 4 minutes. Probably push my pawn somehow, but I have to be careful. The knight, also the knight is shutting down the rook on e8, so that's actually doesn't feel like it's like an achievement by black. But I'll try this. Maybe now knight f6. Okay, so h5 is interesting, so maybe go back here. Maybe it's rook f5 and go for h5 now. h5 is probably not necessary by him. f6. let's do this in g4. He doesn't have time for that. Maybe rook f7 and knight g5. So g4. So if he goes here, I just take. He cannot take back. This rook check. I take though. I mean, he would love to do this, but I don't think he has time. Really. Unless I'm missing something obvious here. And just check here. King here. Check. I'm just not seeing what he's trying to do. Here's knight e5. There's also knight takes f6. There's a check. There's a check with a knight. So with this one, I mean, there's plenty of moves. Plenty of moves. So this one, which one is best? There's here, there's here. I mean, there's tons. It's probably this. Double check. He's probably gonna resign now. Alright, we could rematch the guy. I mean, I don't have, like, too many opponents to play. We could... He doesn't want to play. Let's try another guy, then. Wait, I'm not streaming? Hold on. It doesn't show me that I'm streaming. Hold on, folks. Hold on. Well, it doesn't show me that I'm streaming, which is funny. Oh gosh. No, alright. I'm not streaming? It should be showing me that I'm streaming. I think I have the title. Alright. Play somebody else. $2,200. Let's play something funky here, knight h6. Something funky for a change. So the way when I play knight h6, the way I do it though, it's like some kind of a modern that went so bad. Modern defense. I mean, maybe even here and d5 and d6 and f5, justifying this insane knight h6 as much as possible. Like he's gonna do this and f5. And potentially you could go here and or the knight goes to f5, which may justify knight h6 somehow. He plays h3, which is passive city. The knight is not going to g4 as this play here. And you have to be careful because this may be playable, but again, because knight h6, this is hanging on h. So the knight on h6 is problematic for now, but all right, I could take. You have to be careful that I'm giving some weaknesses here, but it's okay. All right, so knight f5. So you can see now you could justify that knight h6. The knight went to f5, and then we have some weird activity happening. So we could also proceed with knight d4. Move my knight like 3 times. The reason is I want a castle and then bring the other knight. And I don't want him to go like for knight g5. So now we castle. It should be fine though. Bishop e3 is playable. We could take knight d7 out of 6. It's all a dream. Takes. He may do this. Then we play here. Hopefully this is okay. Now, you know, now it's, I mean, the pieces are sleeping on the other side of the board. They are so sleepy that they cannot really wake up anytime soon. So maybe it's knight d7 fast enough. I'm delaying the developing here. He may do like knight b5 for the hell of it, just to see how I react. But this, you do have to be concerned about this kind of stuff for bishop f6. So he plays here. I don't understand why he's doing this. F2 maybe was an attackable pawn, but you know he's defending it with f1 rook. So now knight d7. So once I play here, f4, wow. So now knight f6, that's actually pretty strong. I don't like f4 because bishop takes is a threat, and knight takes e4. Bishop f3, maybe he's forced. If you play, let's say, bishop d3, maybe it's knight h5. And then you talk about knight g3 and all these kind of action happening. He's playing bishop d3. Is knight e2 defense? This pick here, maybe we could play here. So I'm threatening this. And if you defending it, I could take this with tempo. And we are talking like, I'm just up a pawn for no reason. Rook b1, I could try to trade them. So he plays king h2, which I think is probably the right continuation. He doesn't have to play here. Now I could complete the developing here. So I'm not worried about this one because I have check. You have to be careful what you know, which pawns you're moving, right? Which pawn are you moving? So knight e2 is still here. It's hard to say how he could proceed queen c2. Maybe he's eyeing f5, but I'm not sure if I'm a fan of f5 because of check. I'm trying to play here in queen h4, but he may not. It's maybe here. Maybe better. f5, queen h4. Here you could take f5. It's probably risky. Probably risky stuff here. f5 could change the position in his favor. Here, f5, check. This is all I have to. Alright, we're gonna give it a try. I mean, it's not the best, because I think he could take up us on here, or even here, and I may have missed that. No, knight g7. So I think the real concern is take here. He's not gonna play f5 here, I don't think. Because now I could go for like queen h4. Perhaps you could take here though. This is actually kind of wild. It's not necessary that I play e5. I could have played like a6 or slow down the position, knight g7, or... Well, there's no need to play like... This e5 thing is like forcing matters fast enough. There's no need for black to do this. You could also play bishop g5. But the problem was bishop g5. Okay, so he went for it, but I think it's queen f8. So I'm kind of stopping this, perhaps. The problem here, though, maybe knight e4, but I'm keeping an eye here, so I don't get to play queen h4, and I'm trying to figure out why I did e5. Maybe h6 is a concern, but always here. And if you take his bishop check, so that's... He's going for this one, which is very interesting now. I believe I could still do this somehow. It's a free pawn, I believe. It's funny that you're giving up this bishop, like fianchetto bishop. There are exceptions, you know. You don't have to always... Do not make a trade like this. It depends on the game. So maybe I'm like up a pawn here. and he may not come. He doesn't have like so much an attack going on, so maybe this exchange is also like a pass pawn. If you think about it, you get your pawn on d4. If I'm able to defend properly, then this whole thing is good for black. There's also here or here. That's actually the real question. What to do? It's maybe here e4. If you play here, this rook here comes in, so maybe that's better. Take that way. So I took a pawn, and if he were to trade now, this actually has to be good for black, right? It would not make like 0 sense, but now there's also like a trouble here. Maybe I could play for h6 somehow in some line. If he were to defend, then it becomes a trouble. There's also here. It's hard to say how he could play this. I'm not really sure if this is good for white anymore, because now you can see this pawn's d4 is like a pass pawn. I mean, for example, let's say he plays here. This is actually knight takes. I mean, that's how things are. Here, rook f1. Maybe you could still defend this one. Or here you could just take that. And it's hard to say like how this supposedly good for white, right? If you treat everything, then you could see that d4. It's white is down a pawn. He could do it because maybe he feels like this is opposite call of bishops. Maybe he could hold. So he played here, and it's, that's tough now. Here or here? Supposedly here. Rook takes here. Rook f1. Or you could go for this one. Supposedly here. All right, let's take this. Let's take this one. He's going for the opposite call bishops. Rook f2 is king g1. I mean, I would like him to take, but he's not. Okay, what to do? Try this. Oh wow, I'm actually not. Yeah, this move doesn't make sense, and this move doesn't make sense. Maybe g4 was. Yeah, we both are not paying attention here, which is funny. Now if he goes for this, he takes and bishop here. That's trouble. So you're attacking the queen. He has to be really cautious where he's going. If he plays here, maybe bishop e4. Yeah, this may be a mistake. He had to play like here. Yeah, bishop e4 is pretty strong. It's queen f3. Just like my king is maybe weakened, his king is also weakened. He had to play like queen e2. The reason for that, like as I mentioned, you don't allow bishop e4. Maybe d3 is not a big issue, queen e3, and maybe he was concerned about like a pawn push. But then you may have to worry about the bishop gets in, rook f1. But here, yeah, he plays here, but I could still play here. Queen f5. Queen f5, rook f1. All right, let's do it. Bishop e7. Let's do it. He might try this. So I'm attacking the bishops. I mean, if he plays here, there's two moves. Even bishop here is playable. But I could take, though. We could take, and this, I could claim that I'm up a pawn. This trade should be good for me, even after. So he plays here, which makes a lot of sense. Now I have two moves. This is probably it. C4 is under attack. He probably forgot that C4 could be takeable, like here, and then he's not running out of like trouble because he slipped. He slipped. Unfortunately, he meant to play Queen D2. Yeah. All right, last game though. Last game, folks. C4. He's probably like still losing for him. Maybe I'm guessing I'm better at this lines. All right, we'll play. Let's play here. Let's play the wing gambit for a change. I mean, if he plays c5, he may not. He may play here, or even g4. Knight g3, attack the bishop. d4, keeping the center intact. All right, we could trade. Now we're playing like a real Caro kind of stuff. Here, f4 might be... So c5 may be necessary. Knight g6, wow. Why knight g6? I don't know if I like what I'm seeing. f4, f5 could be huge. You always want to break on the center. f5, if white gets play f5 so fast, f7 becomes like a real target. You probably need to play like c5, and if f4, he could still take on f5 or even queen d7. So he played queen b6, and then maybe c5 is coming, but I mean supposedly here, maybe knight e5. Oh, that's tricky. All right, we play here c5. Maybe c5 now. What else? It's funny that he was prepared by this, and then he takes on e5, and he may allow me to take here, right? But here, the queen is under attack, right? So that's the reason why I played queen, king h1. I don't understand queen e6. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna trade. This move doesn't come across very well. Like here, I guess here, knight h4. It's possibly here. It's funny that I have to land on d1. Alright, play here. It's still f5. I'm preparing f5. This move is interesting though. Maybe he could play like here and put a knight on f5. And may say, well, I'm okay, and I'm not sure he's okay. So even c5 here, I may just like go like fully attack. I don't have to worry about d4. So you can see that he wasted moves here, knight e7. That does give you an indication that he's in bad trouble here. So I don't think this move really saved him or anything. I could still play here. Now, if he plays c3, maybe g6. And then f5 is really being stopped. He's probably looking for g6. And he would probably wait for c3 met by g6. So you don't have f5. But the problem is that it's f5 right now. You don't supposed to play like this. There's knight d6, so he has to take everything. So now f7 is under like serious attack, and he never got to play c5, which he may try right now. I mean, I'm assuming c5 is coming in within like the next few years, but it's not happening fast enough. g6 does not really save the position. Good games, good games. Are you my opponent or a previous opponent? Good games. Rook f1, I suppose. He's still eyeing here. It's queen f3. I'm trying to get to play queen f3. So if he plays c5, which it's probably too late. But he has to play here. Yes, that makes sense. So you could defend f7 that way. So if you play here, it's castles. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. Uh, thank you. So now, how I proceed? Knight c3. This kind of stuff. All right, let's try this. He's gonna castle like in a few seconds. So bishop c5 maybe. So I'm trying to play here or here. Again, white enjoy that. You know, like it's fluid to play for white's perspective. Like white is actually controlling the game, but it's not like black is lost. He may still play for a while. If he plays here, maybe it's queen g4. Yeah. You gain a tempo. Be attacking here. So gonna play here. Gonna play here. Getting hit by bishop takes. And if he plays here, which makes sense in a way, then maybe we still attacking f7 because we may have bishop e7. This position is really difficult in so many levels, but so he wants to play knight c4. Maybe this is his only counterattack. Knight c4. All right. Play knight c4. It's possibly here and something like here. I mean, I'm trying to sack on f7, but I'm not sure how yet. So knight c4. I don't want to lose tempo by b3 though. I feel like, I mean, b3 could be a move, but hey Santos, how's it going? Welcome, welcome here. Welcome aboard. So if I play here, knight takes here. b3, knight e3. All right, we're gonna sack the pawn. So if he takes on b2, this bishop e7. It should be like a, should be the queen on a6 is not doing a great job. Oh, back problems. Sorry to hear. Bishop e7. This is actually trouble, I think. So even though he took on pawn at b2, that's fine. The reason it's fine is because I'm actually gonna take here, and this is actually a road of trouble. So rook e8. Then we have here. This actually, it's too much. Then we take on f7. Oh wait, this rook takes. Oh, this rook takes e7. Oh, that's nasty though. I forgot about here. That's his way out. That's not good. Let's play here. I don't even know how. Yeah, back problems could be an issue. It becomes... yeah, I'm so far winning, yeah. So far. This was a nasty trick here. I was about to do rook takes, and I forgot that rook takes here is possible, because here, queen takes, I'm actually the one getting mated. So, I had to do it this way, this knight d2. So we could take here. Here, knight td2, queen here. A lot of people streaming on Twitch today. Are they? Yeah, nice. Should be back later today, I think. Queen takes. Oh. Queen takes. Only move. Queen takes. Gotta do it this way, because here it's mating ideas. Mating ideas. Force move. Queen takes. But if even after here, knight takes, this knight doesn't feel like it has some freedom here. They could always take. This feels still white. Looks like white's still good, I suppose. This bishop d6, this d6, e5 is still like pass pawn. I'm not sure what he's thinking about. Maybe he's knight f5. Yeah, this is gonna be like rook takes. Specifically this one, so he takes here, you're getting mated. I mean, what is he exactly looking at? Ooh. This move? I see. I see. I see. Still the same concept. Knight takes in this line. Where's the mate though? Let's dance. Let's try this. Take on here. Take, sir, take. Knight takes. It feels like bishop e6 still wrong. I think he had to take with a queen. Wrong answer? You sure about this one? I don't see a move by him except knight takes. We'll see it. We'll see after the game. I mean, this is gonna be my last game, but we'll see. I mean, so far, the games are okay. I mean, I don't see what else does he has in mind. Knight takes, queen takes. Queen takes is losing right now. I mean, even knight takes is losing. Queen takes h6. I think I see a mate. Perhaps. Yeah, I think around here, this one was forced. Actually, queen takes was forced. So you have to take back knight takes. Yeah. This move. Wow. But I could take though. I'm still confused. Here, queen takes, h7. No, it's good. h7. It's all a dream, Santos. It's all a dream. Yes. Nice defense so far, but I still believe I'm winning. We need to move fast. There's also a queen here. Did I miss queen here? E6. Come on, Stella, you know better. E6 was also a move. But I guess rook takes. There's still some issues. Alright, queen e5 has to be wrong. There's no time for like queen takes e3 here, my friend. So now here, he plays here again. Rook takes, queen f7, rook f8, e6. No time for that. No time for that. It's funny that how he's surviving. Oh, he's surviving somehow. Take if you can. Big move, rook takes. Still mate. And bishop f8 you could still take here with rook g7, rook takes h7, mate on g7. Alright, mate in one, rook f8 maybe the only move. But again, this is lost because of rook takes, right? Queen h7, still mate. So you're dealing with this one or rook takes, and it's tough. The queen is out of play here. I mean, he would love to play a move like this, but he's out of touch. You don't have time for this one. Still mates. It's surprising. I'm not sure why he's not resigning, but he will. He will now. So rook f1, king h2. Takes. I don't even have to take on f8. So here, still mate. Because this one is like keeping the mate. So this is actually mate again back on h7. You could check, king h2, and good night. I mean, even this one works, but rook g6. It doesn't matter. I don't think it doesn't matter much as long as it's winning. Queen is like miles away. You need the queen on g1. It's also queen g4. I'm not sure how he feel like he could hold it. He cannot hold this. All right. Check. 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 Resignation now or what? Here, you name it. There's 20 ways of winning. It's all winning. It's winning, Santos. Been winning for 20 years. Yeah, but it's mate. Where is your move? Where is your move? Which move were you thinking about before we take a look at the computer? Was it around here? Rook F where? F3? Like here? Right? It's probably winning, yeah. The problem, there's no much problem here. It's, yeah, maybe this is playable. Yeah, it tells me this is a blunder. Hey, Queen H3, the top engine move. Yeah, if you play here, I suppose it's winning. It is winning, yeah, but Rook D8. It's still winning, by the way. Rook E7. It must be some mating idea. Mating ideas. Yeah, I think it does like Queen H3 as like a top engine move. And then, yeah, here it's just lost. Queen takes. So before here, I think he had to play like it's +2 here. He had to do this King H8. Maybe I missed this move. I felt like maybe this one, it's already lost. There was a nice line here that I think Queen takes B7. I think this is actually winning, right? I felt like this is good, winning enough. There's another line. So this one is interesting. This one I'm talking about, like knight takes. This queen takes h6. I actually saw the mate here. Like here, 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 and then you have to land here and checkmate. This is actually what I saw. And I figured that that's the reason why bishop h6, it's pretty bad, because he could still like find there's a mate. Queen takes is completely lost in this line. I mean, it was lost in the previous line, but it's actually lost pretty bad here. Whose move is it? Yeah, so this one is terrible. It's actually a bad version of, because of this one, right? And the knight is also like not doing anything, so there's too many material here. Yeah, this is lost all across. So it's funny that the computer is giving me here it's a draw, and after rook takes f7. Queen d7. Oh wow, Queen d7 was actually the top engine move. And rook takes c7, and I may have missed something. Wait, I may have missed something really weird. Yeah, that's just simply. Yeah, here it's like completely dominant. So here, that's actually the engine moves, and then e6. The reason my move is not that great because he could play like knight c4 and knight takes d6. Supposedly this is some kind of a crazy comeback. Queen d7 and then queen takes d4. Comeback. Comeback kid here. And actually this is not clear anymore. It's not clear. But what's clear is I was already winning. Yeah, this is simply queen here. There's another move here. Wait, where's the draw here? Yeah, so the opening is pretty bad. So around here, once you're committed to take, right? The computer now is giving this is a draw. So this queen e5, I know this line as well, but there's actually c5. This is probably the way to play. And then you cannot play f4 here. You can, but then you're looking at some kind of like counterplay on the center. It's not the same as the other line. So he did not do any of this. He just let the attack flow here. Which bishop d6. Yeah, bishop d6. This is all losing actually. I mean, this is all losing. No, bishop d6 is a blunder. Yeah, it's a blunder because it allows a comeback. You know. Yeah, this is all good for white. Like this is all good for white, all the way. I think it was good for white, like in move 5. All the way, like around here. Like this is actually good for white. Yeah, the computer likes king h1 by huge margin and queen e6. This is actually good for white, and it liked queen d1, which is actually this is actually terrible. Like from strategic point of view, like even c5 is a little bit too late here because of f5. Yeah, you cannot allow this kind of stuff in this specific opening. Yeah, this is actually terrible. Uh, you just have to play c5 right away here. I don't understand why he did not do it. So c3, and it just becomes like a game. You could even do knight c6, knight d2. It's just a game. Even h5 is a move here, knight f3, and then h4. It's just a game. Normal game here, knight f5. Mark plays c3. Yeah. Well, transpose anyway was this line. So there's also another line here. You could play c5 right now. Even bishop b5 is playable, but this is possibly okay. Like this kind of stuff, you do have to be careful. But e6. I mean, black is okay. Dispute what the computer is basically saying here, but yeah, takes. Yeah. This, this move you do have to know. Like also there's h4, but I mean d4 is probably more. Yeah, I mean this is not the French is like transposed to like it went from like it's a caro, but the French would be more like here. You're talking about this one. So that's a French. He played c6, so kind of transpose. Originally, I wanted to play. Yeah, it's a caro. Yeah. Originally, I played e5 so I could play here, and then I could play the wing gambit, but he did not follow through. He did not follow through. He just played like bishop f5. Yeah, so that's a different line. Yeah, different line. Once you see the structure, it gives you indication it's a caro. d5, c6, e6, and typically the reason why people doesn't like the French a lot, you would see that the bishop is not coming in sooner. Like even like the advantage here, the bishop is not coming in a lot sooner. There's a lot of lines. This is probably the best. Also knight c3. Yeah, so anyways, it's good games today, undefeated, which is it's all good. Maybe I'm like marching into 25, which is interesting. I'm not sure if I'm a fan to get to 25 in rapid, but it's not because you cannot find opponents, or you could walk into cheaters, which we don't want to see that. But anyways, we are marching forward. I should be back later today, maybe back later today to do like Twitch, the march to like 27, not 27, the march for 3,000 in chess.com. So we should be back later tonight. Should be, according to the plan. All right, folks, we're gonna head out. We're gonna be back later and work on the rating for now. I will see you guys later. Good night. Not good night, but take care, David. take care, David. We'll see you, or Santos. We'll see you later. Possible later today. All right, see you guys. Thank you for tuning in. See you guys later.